Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little bit since I made a video and it occurred to me that I better do that today or there's going to be a lot of time pass before I get to it. Sorry for the state of my desk. It's just, it is what it is, and I think, as I mentioned in previous videos, I was getting overly concerned with my appearance in videos, and I decided I needed to really let go of that so that I actually make them, because if I'm always overly worried about how I look, I'm never going to make a video. And I think the same thing goes for my desk and my space. I'm just not the neatest person, and if I'm always trying to make it look perfect, I'm just going to make these I'm going to make making these videos a whole lot more stressful on myself. So this is me as I am in a little bit of a flux state. What's today? Tuesday, November 19th, and the last couple of weeks have been really busy. I think I only made one video last week, and then I just didn't get around to doing any others. I've mentioned in previous videos that I have a friend who's very sick, and at this point is pretty much in her final days, and it's been sad, but it's also been distracting and weighs heavy on me, and I don't always feel like making a cheerful video, which I don't know why I think they all have to be cheerful, but it doesn't feel very productive to come on here and be a little black rain cloud. So um, because things have been so busy and because I've been sort of stressed and sad, I haven't done a whole lot of reading. Although I have kept going on the Sarah Bakewell book that I'm reading. That was the suggestion of Jim at, oh man, now I'm going to forget. Jim at Great Books, Big Ideas. I think that's the name of his channel. And shout out to Jim, because after the last time I mentioned him, he came on and left a comment. And so I'm trying to get Bob to come up here, my cat, Jim, so that you can see how much he looks like your cat Hawk. Anyway, the Sarah Bakewell book is, now I can't even remember the name of the book, the title of the book. It's right over there, but I'm not going to go get it. It's about existentialists. Primarily, although it seems like it's going to talk about quite a number of them, but and all the names are totally leaving my head. I cannot think. Simone de Beauvoir, is that how you say her name? And Jean-Paul Sartre. And I know I'm not saying that right. I know I'm making more sound out of that last name than there needs to be or should be. Um, I might just be Sartre. I really want to learn how to speak French, and maybe I could just start by learning how to say their names. And in my head, I can say them, but when I'm trying to say it to you guys and to make my mouth make those words sound correct, it's not happening. Anyway, so I'm working on that. I'm still working on the Elton John autobiography, and I decided to flip those. So I'm reading Elton John at night now, because the Sarah Bakewell book is for me, it's a little more intellectual, a little bit more studious than I normally read, and that was hard for me to read in the evenings, because usually by the time I read at night, I'm pretty tired. And I can often only get a couple of pages in. So to get my brain locked in enough to like really understand and take in this world of existentialists and phenomenologists, I'm really enjoying the book. It's very, very engaging, but it also does require a little bit more brain power than I have by 10 o'clock at night. So I'm reading that one in the morning now. And I created a little reading, pointing because it's right there. I created a little outdoor reading nook for myself, and I'm loving it. It gets super hot here in the summer, and now it's finally cooled down to like temperatures that the human body can handle. And so I'm able to sit outside in the mornings. It's a little crisp, but I don't care. After being hot all summer long, I am so fine needing like a sweater and socks and to bundle up a little bit in order to be comfortable. And my cats are loving it. They're out there with me in the morning. We're just having a ball. So that's been fantastic. And that's where I'm reading the Sarah Bakewell book. I wish I could remember the name of it. Something about existentialists and apricot cocktails. It's a really cool title. Yeah, so I'm reading the Elton one in the evenings, but neither one have I done very much with, like a few pages in both of them. Sometimes it's just a couple of paragraphs because I just want to keep the momentum going, but I do not have the strength and sometimes just not the heart to be reading. So, but I thought I would mention that, in addition to books that I read in the morning and the evening, books that I'm reading for my own pleasure, I do read quite a bit for the yoga classes that I teach. And here are the books I've been using lately. This one's so cool. It's Downward Dogs and Warriors. I'm sure most of you know about those two yoga poses, even if you don't do yoga yourself. They have examples of those poses on the back of this page. So this is Downward Facing Dog right here. And this is Warrior 2 right here. This one's Cobra. So this one's Adho Mukha Svanasana. This one's Virabhadrasana 2. And this one's Bhujangasana. And I just always look for inspiration for my classes so that I don't end up saying the same things over and over every class. And I do like to offer like mythical inspiration and some backstory on the poses and yoga itself so that it's not just me saying like turn your heart to the right and plant your feet on the earth. And well, I don't use that voice when I teach, but anyway, that kind of helps me offer what I hope is a more engaging and rich class. And then I've been using this book mostly for my online teaching. I teach online and in person. This is mostly for my online group. I'm not sure if you can see that. So we're on a journey right now in my online group. We've moved through some of the, what I feel are kind of basic tenets of yoga. I started this journey with them in June. I've been teaching online. I think this February it'll be 4 years. In person, I've been teaching for 13 years. With the online group at the end of the spring of this past year, as my in-person group really wound down, because the season here, the height of the season here runs from about November to April. So as the season started to calm down last year, or whatever, calm down is not the word I'm looking for. People started to leave town, and so the numbers in my classes get a lot smaller. And so at that point, I focus a little bit more, or I have more energy to give to my online group. And I wanted to focus the energy a little bit so that people could feel like they really had like more of a grasp of what yoga is about beyond just, I don't like for our classes to be just exercise. I want it to be, an actual yoga program. And I think knowing the 8 limbs of yoga and knowing the 5 koshas, which is that book, the sheaths of our human experience, is really important. I've always incorporated speaking about the chakras in my classes, but we've dived into those with more depth and more specificity as well. And I crafted what I called an awareness program from June, and it carries on through the end of December. So right now we are in the 4th kosha. We've already gone through body and energy and thoughts and emotions. And right now we're working on the wisdom sheath, or the witness mind. And that is Vijnana Maya Kosha. And so I've been reading the little chapter on Vijnana Maya Kosha in this book so that when I mention it in my class, I have something intelligent to offer. And I have, and the last kosha, the 5th of the 5, is Ananda Maya Kosha, and we'll talk about that in December. So I'll still be using that book next month. And I have behind me in this lovely little collection of books in those 2 bookshelves, I have many yoga books. Some of them I've barely even looked at. I've really collected a lot of books over the last 10 years. And a lot of them I just break open and kind of read for what is basically the first time. As over the years, as I have felt any sense of guilt and buying a bunch of books that I don't read, a lot of the books that I haven't read, although not all of them, but a lot of them are kind of more of that reference type of book. So they live in a reference library that I pull from when I'm teaching something more specific, or like I said, if I need some inspiration. So, even when I don't read my for pleasure books, I do tend to read quite a bit through the week, maybe 20 minutes before my class, sometimes in the middle of the day to get inspiration for the classes that are coming in the next day. And so I end up reading quite a bit overall. So those are the 2 I'm incorporating now. There's a couple others that I'm actually pretty involved with at the moment, but they're over on the messiest space in my house, which is the couch over there where I sit to read and get ready for classes and all that kind of good stuff. What else have I been talking about in these videos that I might wrap up a little bit? I'm kind of looking at my back door right now because my little stray cat, whose name is Little Cheetah, I had a small video about, or a short video about Little Cheetah, kind of at the beginning of my channel's journey here. I did a little video about Cheetah, a little video about Little Cheetah, which is what I call him because he was still a kitten when he started coming to us. He's a pretty good sized cat now, although he's really filled out, especially in the last couple months because he's been coming very regularly and getting fed very regularly. So Little Cheetah came by about half an hour ago, and my grouchy oldest cat, Molly, chased him away. So I went out chasing after her, got her back, but Cheetah split, and I'm waiting for him to come back for his dinner. So I keep peeking to see if he's here, if he's brave enough to try to come up here again, or if he's going to get growled at and run after by Molly. I'm working on a video, not a video, I'm working on an email to send to a women's workshop group that I have been meeting with the last couple of weeks. This week and next week are off weeks for us, but I'm developing the two classes or workshops that we will do together in December. I just sent off a video, why do I keep saying a video? I just sent off an email to my online group because I want to focus our energy starting with tomorrow's morning class and through the end of next week. I want to start focusing our energy, in addition to the other things I mentioned, the koshas and the chakras. I want to start incorporating a little bit more mindfully the phases of the moon, which I know won't speak to everybody in my group, but I'm going to invite a new pathway to kind of build and let go through the cycles of the moon. And we're going to do that together now as we move into the last week of waning energy as we head towards the end of November and the new moon that's coming up. So we have I think it's about 9 days until that new moon. So we're going to start getting in that flow, and then I'm going to develop a separate program in 2025 called Moon Phase Yoga, and that'll be an online thing. So I'll share a little bit more about that here in case any of you are interested. And so I just sent that email off. That took me a while. And then this email to my women's workshop group just to keep the group warm until we meet again on Friday, December 6th. So that's what's going on with me. Everything's starting to really pick up around here. Lots of people back in town. The morning class that I taught this morning, in-person yoga class, had 35 people in it, and it made me so happy to see everybody. Some of these folks I haven't seen since last spring, so it feels really good to have them back in the circle with me. And then a lot of us had breakfast afterwards, so that was really fantastic. And I taught an afternoon class online a little bit ago. So yeah, one class after the next, and I just keep going. Now I got to start getting my head in a different space to go play pickleball with my husband this evening for a couple hours. All right, so not a lot had to do with being Gen X today, but no matter what I do, I sit in the seat of it and bringing that kind of, what do I want to call that energy? Analog energy, non-digital, as I speak to you on this digital platform. And my gentle chatting continues. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come back for the next one. And I'm going to wake up Bob and bring him over here so you can see. I haven't made you wait the whole video to see him. Poor guy. Oh, Bobby. He's all wrapped up like a little shrimp here in one of his little beds. But come say hi to everybody, Bob. Come say hi. Show Jim how much you look like Hawk. Yeah, show him how much you look like Hawk. All right, my friends, we'll see you for the next one. Bob and I are sending you our best, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.